Shalom. Chapter 34 in the book of Genesis is a very tragic one. We read about the story where the only daughter of Jacob that's actually mentioned in the Bible by name, is violated. And then later how her two brothers stand up for her honor and they literally slaughter, annihilate the entire male population of the city of Shechem. Now, of course, like every other story in the Torah, this is not here just to amuse us with some interesting historical facts, especially considering that it's a very negative one. And it's a very sad one. Obviously, there is a lot for us to learn. So just one point that I want to zero in on. The real question is, how did this happen? Why did this happen? And why is it important for us to know about it? Number one. Number two, were they justified? Was that right? Was it okay for them to go and slaughter an entire city? And if it wasn't okay, then why is the Torah telling us about it? Obviously, this is something we need to learn from. Well, you see, sometimes when it comes to good and evil, when it comes to, this criminal undercurrent that's out there, many people feel like, that's got nothing to do with me. Because, I live in a different part of town. I live in a different state of mind. And perhaps it's not something I even have to concern myself about. In other words, I don't even have to go there and think about how can I make the world a better place, because I got no connection to that. That's got nothing to do with me. Well, here you see that somebody like Jacob, who certainly is such an aristocratic, esteemed family, living alone, minding their own business, trying to just go about their own life, and here the criminal element seeped in. This immoral behavior seeped into and affected his life directly in such a vicious manner. So that's number one. No one can say, I live in my own little bubble. No, we live in an entire universe, which unfortunately is shared by the good and the evil. And therefore the good needs to prevail, not of course by beating up the evil, but by doing more good, by shining more light, we push away the darkness. That's one lesson perhaps. Another point is, to answer the question, how is it that they went about killing so many people and it seems so justified and even glorified in a sense by the Torah? Well, the answer is, you see, all the people in the city of Shechem became guilty by association, or moreover, guilty as accomplices by virtue of the fact that nobody stood up. After finding out what happened, nobody stood up to bring the perpetrators to justice. And this, sadly, we've seen so many times repeated in our society. Yes, here in the United States of America even, where people, not even after the fact, but even during the event of a crime taking place, people just passively walk by, people just stood by and did not pay attention to the screams of the victim and allowed for the crime to actually be completed. So this is a great lesson for us. What the two sons of Jacob did was they taught us that if someone commits a sin, someone commits a crime, well, it doesn't mean that we always have to actually take a sword or a gun and, God forbid, go out there and viciously kill them. But we cannot just stand by idly. The, quote, side of good, the element in the world that is here to protect good and morality and ethics needs to act actively and actually do something. Whatever it is that we need to do to bring positivity into the world, to help eliminate that not good, the bad. And that is something that we can't say, well, I'm not doing it, so it's got nothing to do with me.